Hi there, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be sharing my extreme kitchen declutter. It was in much need of doing. I've been living in this house for nearly a year now, and it's taken me a while to get into the groove of how I wanted things to flow in there and where I wanted things to be. So I'm going to be sharing lots of simple ideas and solutions and organisation tips today in this video, so I really hope that it helps you too. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Welcome to my humble little kitchen. I can't tell you how many times since living here I've moved things around. So a cupboard that was once plates is now mugs, and I go in there to get a plate and now it's mugs, and it takes me so long to remember. So I'm really going to try not to move things around today. I'm quite happy with where things are. I do think there's value sometimes in sitting with a space and finding out how it best works for you, because if you're constantly moving things around it gets quite annoying. This is my little kitchen. It's not the most up-to-date kitchen, and it definitely doesn't make the best use of storage in terms of how big the cupboards are and the way it's all laid out, but it'll make do for us for now. You know, kitchens are very expensive to replace, and this one works just fine, but I think that utilising this space a lot better is going to make it a much more enjoyable place to be. So just behind me here I have my new storage solutions, so I will share them with you now. So everything you can see here is from Amazon. I just quickly bought them the other day and just spent a little bit of time looking through my cupboards and thinking, how best can I use this space? And this is what we ended up with. So this one is for my mugs. I bought some little bowls and things for storing vegetables and God knows what. Who knows what's going to happen with these? I'm excited. A little spice bed, I think we'll call it a bed. It's so I can lay my jars down in the cupboard, and this one does expand. I'll show you all of these as we go along, but I just thought I would quickly share what I've decided to go with. This is to hold a kitchen roll because it's forever diving out of the cupboard at me and I'm fed up of it. This one, I ordered this, and then when it came I thought, what is this? And I'm thinking, is it for like spices or what? And then I realised it's for pans, so you know, like muffin trays, to lay them sideways instead of in the drawer. We've got a plate rack, which I'm looking forward to using. We'll see how practical this is going forward, but I think it's going to make better use of space. And then the last thing is these pull-out drawers. So I'm yet to find out if I can actually assemble these, but I thought they would be great for storing little bits and pieces that fly around the cupboards and stuff like cloths for cleaning as well. So that's my little haul. I'll leave links to everything below in case something takes your fancy. So this is cupboard number one, which is fine and I like the way it works, but it's not making best use of this space. There's a lot of dead space up at the top and in between, so like all of this dead space here. So if I can change that, that would be fantastic. The other place is this old drawer. As you can see, it's absolute chaos, but if I need a pan from the bottom it annoys me and I have to take everything out, and it's just, yeah, a bit too much. So that's that one. The other culprit today that we're focusing on is this chaos cupboard. Excuse Echo's toys rolling around in the background. As you can see, absolute mayhem in there, so that needs sorting. And then we have this fine specimen of a drawer which needs some serious attention, but I'm hoping this is going to be a quick and easy solution. And then the last one on today's list is this mug cupboard, which is just fine, but I feel like I could use better space of the height of the cupboard. Not that it's a very tall cupboard, mind you. There is a lot of dead space on this wall, like I wish the cupboards went higher and all of that, but we make do with what we've got, and this is what we've got today. So let's start organising, shall we? So I like to work in sections, doing one area at a time. The first thing that I'm going to do is empty the cupboards and give them a really good clean. This also helps you to find dead space and things that are long forgotten at the back of the cupboard, hiding back there in the dark, like this jar of coffee. Don't be like me though, and do use a stool. I think it's good to clean them as you go along because it's not every day that they're completely empty, so definitely take advantage of that. Don't be scared to move shelves around if you can. Make full use of the space that you've got. Once I was done, I'm putting things back using the organisers that I bought. They can be really expensive, but they do make such a difference when it comes to using space efficiently. I put off buying them for nearly a year, but daily frustration does add up, so for the price of them, I'm definitely saving my sanity. P.S. I wish it was this fast to declutter and organise in real life. Moving on to the pan drawer now. This one is funny because it's not really deep enough to be practical, and I have a giant wok, as you can see, which takes up the majority of this drawer. I want it to be able to get to my muffin trays and racks easier. It's so annoying having to move everything to get one thing that's on the bottom, so I decided enough was enough and it was time to move them to somewhere more accessible. I then put things back a few at a time so I could feel if it was going to be practical or not. It was so much better not having all the trays down in the bottom. Okay, so this one is my worst nightmare. There is just too much going on in here, and it's impossible to see how much veg I actually have. First things first, I took everything out. It's good to do this because I found another surprise jar of coffee that I didn't know was there. The main problem is I am always buying potatoes, but there are always some hiding in there, growing shoots off in the dark. I'm pretty sure at this point they are multiplying. It's like they're conspiring against me. I'm going to plant the sprouted potatoes so they don't go to waste. I got myself a few little tubs for onions and potatoes, so I'm really hoping that helps with being able to see how many I actually have so I don't experience this problem again. Here I am just showing off my extensive collection of sprouted vegetables. Now I know that you're jealous. No, but really it's a reality that's actually been getting on top of me. I found the top section of the cupboard really irritating and hard to use, so I just kept putting off clearing it out. But I think, to be honest, they were only a few days away from growing legs and crawling out of the cupboard themselves. Does anybody else have this problem, or is it just me? I got all these casserole dishes from my nanan. She saved them for me when she downsized, and when we moved in, I literally plonked them all in the back of this cupboard, never to be seen again. I'm seeing a theme here, are you? Anyway, I'm going to go through them and try and figure out which I'm going to use and which I want to declutter or put in storage for special occasions when I'm catering for more people. I dream of a kitchen with those corner cupboard storage solutions. They are genius. But for now, I'm just going to fill that dead space with things that I reach for less. Of course, Echo had to come and get involved. He's always been obsessed with this cupboard, so today all of his little dreams came true when he could get all the way in there. I'm putting my little tray rack in the back there. I know it's still going to be annoying to get to, but on the rare occasion that I bake, it'll be way easier than it was before. Okay, so Echo's food causes me a headache. I'm putting it all into this little box so it's not falling all over the place and trying to escape every time I open the cupboard door. I am so happy with these little tubs. They are the perfect size for what I wanted, and now I'm not going to lose any veg to the abyss that is my cupboard. Sometimes simple little changes and organised areas can really change how you feel internally, and this one was huge for me. Moving on to the dreaded spice drawer. First things first, it needs emptying and a good old clean. I dream of the day I can justify buying special containers for my spices, but today is just not that day. This little spice bed, I think that's what we called it, is it? It makes so much more sense to me. I can actually see all of my spices now, and it makes me feel so much less stressed when opening the drawer. There are always going to be annoying little things that just don't fit, but that's just life, and instead of a perfect aesthetic, it's important to make a practical aesthetic, otherwise it's just going to drive you mad. They're my words of wisdom for the day anyway. The thing with organising your kitchen is until you start organising it, you don't know what you're displacing, and then when you displace things, they need to find a new home, which is a good thing in the end. But I've just had a rejig of the spice drawer and I displaced lots of random condiments. So I've got this little drawer. Oh my goodness me. This little drawer majiggy here, which I'm hoping is going to be strong enough to hold, so they're just stickies, but it does have little places for screws in case we need to reinforce it. But in here I've just got things like peanut butter and stock cubes, tahini, some stevia, you know, just random bits that I don't need to use every single day and that really do get in the way because they're such weird shapes. So I'm going to pop them in this drawer. I've had a little bit of a rejig around and moved everything around, so it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but I'm hoping that this can just kind of go here. And then I've gained a little bit of storage below for my giant peanut butter. So that can potentially just go under there as well. So we'll stick it on and see what happens. But it's all kind of a game, I guess, of moving things around, a little bit like Tetris, I guess. So these turned out to be absolutely amazing and so easy. After about 5 minutes of staring at the instructions, I finally figured it out, and I think these are possibly the best hack that I am sharing with you today. There isn't much hope for this drawer. Tins are the bane of my existence, and this drawer isn't big enough for any of the solution. I prefer them like this to having to rummage around in the back of the cupboard, but if I can organise them in my head, I'll know where to reach for what. So I'm putting my most used tins such as tomatoes, beans and tuna over on the left, and everything else gets to go over on the right. This drawer is going to be an ongoing process, but easy to quickly organise when putting the shopping away each week. Famous last words. Okay, so the last cupboard today is going to be sorting my mugs. Another one of those that I close as quickly as I open it so I don't have any casualties. The problem with mugs is they are all different shapes and different sizes, and I do love that about them, and I have to admit I am partial to a quirky mug, but the problem with that passion of mine is it leads to a cupboard of absolute chaos. I got a simple shelf for in here. It wasn't overly expensive. It was a quick and easy solution that I wish I'd have done months ago. These cupboards are such a weird shape, they really don't make best use of the wall they're on, so one day I hope to gain more storage, but I'm making do with what I already have, and I think that it's already a really big improvement. Okay, so we are all done and it feels so much better in here, and I'm really looking forward to being able to use this space and just feel so on top of life. I'll give you a quick look now through the cupboards that I have organised, and then a few cupboards that I haven't showed you today, but I organised kind of when we moved in, or I've done it as we went along, and that just make me so much happier. So I hope that you can get some inspiration if you are struggling yourself in your kitchen for storage ideas, because some are just so simple and easy and also just so cheap. Like this one, that's the best hack that I've ever had, and I've known about these racks for so long, but just not getting one and just putting it off and having mugs stacked on top of each other, it was just not a practical way. And when you love mugs like me, like this isn't our entire mug collection, some need washing right now, but they get chipped, you know, if you're always battering them together and clattering them. So this is just much easier, and I can still access Echo's treats very easy too, so I'm very happy about that. So that's that cupboard, and I've just got our little small fancy cups at the top that are a little bit smaller, and then we've got like big mugs at the back there, and then I've kind of organised it so it's Dom's mugs and my mugs, so once I've washed my other mugs they can just go behind there as well. It's just so much better, so much better. So this is my tea drawer, and I just love the aesthetic of it. It's so good and I can just see exactly what I've got, but this works really well for me, and it's just all about knowing your space and using it well. So then I showed you all this one. I'm just so much happier with that. I just think that's going to be an absolute blessing when I'm cooking and I need spices. I can see everything. Then the last drawer there, I've got a little bit of space and wiggle room, but like I said, I can just change this out each week, and it's just giving me more space than I realised I have, so I can buy some more tin tomatoes. Over on this side here now, this I haven't showed you before, but this is such a brilliant use of space. We got this set of knives when we first moved in, and I'll link them because they're from Amazon, and it came with this little knife block, and it just goes inside the drawer rather than having your knives out on the side or laying down in the drawer, because not only is that dangerous, it's really bad for your knives. Then this side here is more like a baking section, so I've got my little cheese grater, genius invention. It collects the cheese as you grate. It's a life changer. My little oven mitt, and then just a whisk and just some extra utensils. Then this is our utensils drawer. It could do with a good clean. I haven't really cleaned the actual drawers of this since we first moved in on that first day, but I just have my wooden utensils here, my metal ones, and then things for measuring, extra bits, so these ones don't really fit, but potato masher, garlic mincer, lemon juicer, and then I've just got my sharp knives, and these ones are more like for steaks and things, not that we eat those very often, but these were decluttered from my mum and I just thought they looked really cute for maybe like when we're in the garden. This drawer here is chaos, so this is all the random gadgets like pizza clippers and peelers and mini graters, little sweet corn thingies. And then this is a genius invention and it's for helping you to get garlic skins off the garlic. And then just spoons and then a knife sharpener and a little tea strainer there as well. This drawer is the biggest transformation of all for me because it's just so much easier. It's going to just be really nice to be able to grab my pots and my pans, and like I said, I use these ones most days, so that is such a transformation. I forgot to show you this one, but this you've seen a lot because it was one of the ones I mainly decluttered, and that is just amazing. It's so much easier and this has worked so well, so I can just pull this out now. And then I've got all my extra bits down below. We don't have a pantry, so we kind of just use what space we have, but that is just so much easier. And then the last cupboard was this one, which again is a big transformation, and I've got some extra space there for anything else I want to add, so I'm looking forward to figuring out what I can put up there. And I found an extra coffee, which was an absolute win. I hope you found today's video helpful and inspiring. It's something that I've wanted to do for so long and just kept putting off, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I know now that time in there is just going to be so much more enjoyable and just so much more organised. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up for me on the way out. I'll leave a little playlist down below of more decluttering videos and my journey to minimalism for you to enjoy next. I really hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in my next video.